Please, let's take our seats. Okay, welcome to this evening's meeting. We're going to have the invocation from Pastor Vernon Taylor of South Lake Church of Christ in Jonesboro, be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would, stand with me.
Let's pray. Our God in heaven, thank you so much for being our God. God, we are so grateful you've allowed us to grace this present moment. God, we come to you with all of our spirit of thanksgiving for all that you do for us from day to day, from moment to moment. God, we are also grateful for the occasion that brings us together. God, we just ask a special favor for our commissioners and the huge responsibilities that rest on their shoulders that you've allowed because of your choice. God, grant them wisdom, grant them peace. God, grant them the ability to do those things they've been called and voted and chosen to do. And God, we ask that they do it well. God, we ask that all those who are in the presence of my voice, that you will find it in your heart to bless them in a special way on this evening. So God, we ask that all will go well and that good will come out of everything you've touched, everything that deems your name. We ask this in your Son's name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the March 15, 2016 regular business meeting. The first order of business is the adoption of the agenda. Does any member want to offer any amendments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment to add a proclamation honoring Miss Dana Lemon.
I'll second it. I'll second it. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Are there any further amendments?
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, if I may, I'd like to request that item number 20, which is resolution number 2016-58, be removed. We're still working with the vendor to obtain some information about insurance requirements and the event activities.
I'll offer that as a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Are there any further amendments? Hearing none, may we have a motion to adopt the agenda with the approved amendments?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the agenda with the approved amendments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Approval of the March 1st, 2016 regular business meeting minutes.
Is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Properly moved in second by Commissioner Rooks. Those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we do have citizens that have signed up for public comment. Citizens will be given 3 minutes maximum time limit to speak before the Board of Commissioners. Please state your name and county of residency for the record. Speak clearly into the microphone, and speakers should be courteous, respectful, and not make any disparaging remarks or use abusive language when addressing the board.
Dr. Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. In mid-2013, Commissioner Rooks came to me to ask me to be one of our 2 appointees to Clayton Ford, Clayton County Comprehensive Plan 2034. There were 21 members of the steering committee. Each of you had 2 picks. I was one of Commissioner Rooks' pick. In early 2015, the members that served on that steering committee were asked to serve on the Clayton County Sign Ordinance Steering Committee, whose purpose was to review our current county sign ordinances and laws and make recommendations on strengthening them, as well as formulate new ones for your review and hopeful passage into law. At present, right now, all 5 of you, our Clayton County Board of Commissioners, have done nothing of note as it relates to passing better stronger, more effective, and even new sign ordinances, laws, regulations in unincorporated Clayton County. Because of your continuous and constant inaction in this matter, unincorporated Clayton County, as well as many areas of Terra Boulevard that is in unincorporated Clayton County, continue to be littered with inoperable signage that is in disrepair and broken, and numerous and illegal and unlawful signage. Until all 5 of you, our Clayton County Board of Commissioners, pass more better, powerful, and enforceable sign ordinances, laws, rules, and regulations, and take strong, meaningful, hard, decisive, and crackdown action against these blatant, brazen, egregious, law-breaking, law-violating commercial businesses, and also on the commercial businesses who operate without a valid license or without the proper permitting, I will regrettably be forced to conclude, in my opinion, that all 5 of you, our Clayton County Board of Commissioners, are more their commissioners and chairmen, because in my opinion, you protect and you shield them from corrective action that needs to be taken against them, including fines, citations, and penalties, thus, in my opinion, indirectly working in their best interest than you are of the good citizens of Clayton County who elected all 5 of you to your positions of great power, authority, and command, and who only want all 5 of you to serve and protect our best interests and work and serve us in making Clayton County a more clean, desirable, attractive, appealing, and livable county that we all can be proud of.
Thank you. Gina Cooper.
Greetings. My name is Gina Strickland Cooper. I live at 9928 Pointview Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, Lake Forest Subdivision. I am humbly request that you approve Resolution 2016-57, a resolution to provide for a change in the name of the public road of the way of Lake Forest Trace to Al Cooper Trace, which is my husband. He passed away on the 10th of November. He served twice as the president of that community. And he has left us with a hole in our heart. Our heart is broken that he's gone. Not only was he a good father, husband, but he was not a stranger to anyone. He did what he could do for the community out of the goodness of his heart, and the community has asked that we change the name to Lake Forest Trace to Al Cooper Trace. So I humbly ask that you approve that request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we're sorry for your loss, ma'am. Marvin Dixons.
Good evening. My name is Marvin Dixon. I'm a resident of Clayton County, Lake Forest Subdivision. My family and I have lived there for 20 years. I come before you tonight as well regarding Resolution 2016-57. Mr. Cooper was our HOA president. He was a master craftsman. Everyone that lives in the Lake Forest Subdivision was affected by him in a positive way. If you had a problem with your home, no matter what time of day or night it was, whether it was winter, summer, he would come and take care of that problem. As Mrs. Cooper said, I come before you tonight to ask that you approve this resolution. It might not mean much to other people, but to the homeowners of Lake Forest, it means a lot. And we hope that you will honor our request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That concludes public comment, Madam Clerk.
We will now have proclamations. The first proclamation, whereby Clayton County recognizes Sanitarian Eudice Connor as a woman making history, as presented by Commissioner Rooks.
And as we are taking our positions, I want to take this opportunity to state that our HR director, Ms. Renee Bright, this is her last meeting before she retires, I believe on 25th. Please, let's give her a round of applause for the excellent job.
Will Mrs. Connor, family, friends, please come forward at this time for the presentation of the proclamation. And the proclamation reads, whereas since 1911, the United States of America has celebrated and highlighted the contributions of women in America. And now March of each year is dedicated to celebration of women in history. And whereas Clayton County, Georgia commemorates and celebrates the life of Eudice Connor, who was born on March 29, 1916 in Midway, Alabama, and who has now lived in Clayton County since 2012. And whereas Eudice Connor was married in 1954, and through that union, 3 generations have been born. From her 9 children, Billy, Joe, Charles, Edward, Dorothy Ann, Herbert, Gilbert Jr., Lawrence, Leela, Maurice, and Cardwell, onto her 22 grandchildren and 26 great-grandchildren. And whereas Mrs. Connor prides herself on her good looks and class and attitude attributes her hard work to staying healthy and fit, only retiring at the age of 72. And whereas Mrs. Connor has lived to see 13 presidents of the United States, but her proudest moment was living to see this country's first African-American president, Barack Obama, being sworn in as this country's 44th president. And whereas on February 24, 2016, the Clayton County Meals on Wheels program welcomed Mrs. Connor into its Centenarian Club and will provide meals to her for the rest of her life, along with only 2 other centenarians in the county. Now, therefore, I, Shana M. Brooks, Commissioner, on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, during our Women's History Month, hereby call on all citizens to join me in celebrating Mrs. Connor's upcoming 100th birthday on March 29th. Into the county's Centenarian Club. In witness thereof, I have here to set my hand and cause the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 15th day of March in the year 2016. Shana M. Brooks, Commissioner.
All right.
proclamation for this evening. Clayton County recognizes Dana L. Lemon as a woman making history. Will Ms. Lemon, along with any family and friend, please come forward at this time?
You know you too short, shoot the gap. Let me shoot the gap. I'll shoot the gap.
I played basketball, I can shoot the gap.
Fortunately, that's not cheap for me.
I think I'm taller than Sonya. And she's got on heels. Yes.
In the proclamation reads, whereas since 1911, the United States of America has celebrated and highlighted the contributions of women in America, and now March of each year is dedicated in celebration of women in history. And whereas Clayton County, Georgia celebrates Dana L. Lemon, the first woman in Georgia history to be elected to the Georgia Department of Transportation Board, serving Clayton County as the 13th Congressional District of Georgia representative. And whereas Ms. Lemon was born and raised in McDonough, Georgia, attended and graduated from Henry County High School in 1982, Davidson College in Davidson, North Carolina in 1986, and Gupton Jones College of Funeral Service in Atlanta, Georgia in 1995. And whereas Ms. Lemon is president of W.D. Lemon and Sons Funeral Homes, Inc., a family-owned and operated funeral service that was birthed from her father, Willie D. Lemon's vision in 1959. On August 29, 1976, their business became incorporated with locations in Morrow and McDonough. And whereas Ms. Lemon actively engages her community through her service on the board of directors for New Life Community Ministries, as chair of the Georgia Funeral Service Practitioners Association, and as a member of the Legislative Committee of National Funeral Directors and Morticians Association, and through her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Inc., Psi Alpha Omega Chapter. And whereas, in addition to the multitude of additional organizations and activities Ms. Lemon engages, she is also co-host of a local cable TV talk show called Community Spotlight. And whereas Ms. Lemon believes in the betterment of our communities and invests in the lives of our citizens each and every day, raising the bar for women and young girls who will follow in her footsteps. Now, therefore, I, Shana M. Brooks, Commissioner, on behalf of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners, recognizes and celebrates Ms. Dana L. Lemon, a woman who knows no bounds of working in excellence. And today, I call on all citizens to join me in saluting her for her significant contribution to Clayton County and to Georgia as a woman making history. In witness thereof, I have here to set my hand and cause the seal of Clayton County, Georgia, to be affixed this 15th day of March in the year 2016. Shana M. Brooks, Commissioner. The board will now hear a presentation on the Clayton County Emergency Management Preparedness App as presented by Fire Chief EMA Director Landry Murkison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for allowing me the opportunity to appear before you and introduce an exciting new tool, an emergency management's toolkit that we use to deliver emergency preparedness information. For years, we've delivered this information through ReadyClayton.com, which is the county's official emergency management website, and have provided multitudes of guides and information on how to develop ready kits and how to be prepared. Well, we've taken that one step further and launched that into a app that's now available on iPads, iPhones, and Android devices, which is also termed Ready Clayton. That app became available today for download. It's free of charge to all of our citizens, and I wanted to show you just now how easy it is to develop your own emergency response plan to include shopping lists and maps of services and get that information with the touch of a button. So what Ready Clayton has done has taken the process of developing a plan and boiled it down into 5 simple steps. So when you log into this app or download it, it's going to basically ask you 5 basic questions that you will want to work your way through and then answer these questions if I can actually get this to work. Here we go. Do it now. Okay, so the first thing it's going to do is obviously ask you how many adults that you have in your household, how many kids do you have, how many infants do you have, and then does someone in your household have special needs? This becomes important when you get ready to plan for an evacuation, as oftentimes we don't remember the special things that some of the family members in our house have that we need to take with us. If you have an elderly relative that lives with you, there are certain medical needs that they'll have. Do you have pets in your household? Obviously, most of us do. You can select a pet buddy. What this does is if you have to evacuate, some shelters that are open by the Red Cross will not accept pets. Depending on the area that you live in, due to health regulations and whatever. So you need to have a contact that's available that should you need to evacuate, you can take your pets with you. Me and my wife don't have kids. Our pets are our kids, so this would be very helpful to us. So when you put that phone number in, if you select that it does support text messaging, you can send them alerts. You want to choose your emergency meeting place. It's obviously important if your family gets separated, where are you going to meet if you have to evacuate? Well, you can go ahead and establish that place so everyone who has the app will understand where you need to meet. The other beauty to this is you can invite people that don't live within the state to be a part of this so they know where your meeting place is, should you become separated. Come on. Who are you going to notify? You can set up one out-of-town contact like we were talking about. So oftentimes in a disaster, if phone lines are down, you can't get through to, via your cell phone, you can set up that person to notify who's out of the state. And then finally, it has a status. So what you do is you come in and you add a list of contacts that you're going to want to provide a quick status update to in the event a disaster happens. So when you're done, you simply select Generate My Plan, and you're done. So when you go back to the My Plan status board, now you can go to the My Plan dashboard, and you can start gathering your items for your emergency supply kit. Well, let's say I'm ready and I want to go shopping. So now what it's going to do is it's going to take everything that I just put into it, and it's going to calculate my shopping list for me. So I know that to be prepared for the 3 days that we preach to the public, I need 18 gallons of water, 30 cans of meat, 30 cans of canned fruit and vegetables. It's going to walk you right through the entire list. So it really makes it very simple. And as you're purchasing these items, you can check them off, and you can come back to it at a later date if you don't want to purchase it all at one time. The other thing we've done is we put a services menu in here. So as you're looking for county services, we haven't populated them all yet, but the majority of them are in here. You've got your fire station locations. You've got your law enforcement, your hospitals, libraries, parks, recreation centers, sheriff's office. And then we've taken it one step further and put that on a map for you. So once the map comes up and populates, you can come into your filters and you can select whatever it is that you want to see. So if you're curious where your fire stations and your hospitals are, you apply that and it'll put them on the map for you. And then the little blue dot flashing down there is actually your current location. So it's a really interactive way to find information that's going on in the county. It's an interesting way to be able to get information. And then we've done a feature called Need to Know. And we have built-in guides on terrorism, active shooter, floods, tornadoes, winter storms. So if you click in here, it'll walk you through how to prepare for each one of these. This app is also available in Spanish. So that is available in English and Spanish for those that speak Spanish within our community. They will not be left out. And then finally, like I was talking about, there's a quick My Status button that's down here. Then what that allows you to do is, with basically one push of a button, if something happens, you can come up here, and if your subdivision had been hit by a tornado and you can't get in touch with somebody, simply hit the I Need Help button, select your contact that you want to send it to, and hit Send SMS message, and what that's going to do is send a text message. So once it pulls that up, you just hit Send on your text message, and then off it goes. You've notified whoever it is of your impending need. So what we've tried to do with this app is take all of the information that we typically force out or push out through emergency management, all of the handouts, the papers, the checklists, the guides, and consolidate it into an easy-to-use application for our citizens. This also has emergency alerts that we can send out through the Office of Emergency Management. So anybody that has this app will immediately receive that alert, or we can do it through a geofence for a particular area. So if we're working whether it's a law enforcement activity, a fire activity, or whatever the case may be, we can draw a circle on a map and say everybody in that circle gets the alert. So it's really an all-out communication tool as well as an emergency preparedness tool. So we're excited to put it out there to the community. As I said, it's available in both the App Store and Android. It's available for download now. So at that point, that ends my brief presentation. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for the chief? Right here, now thank you for your presentation. Chief, you and your staff have done a great job putting this app together. It truly will serve as an asset for our citizens, so thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Madam Clerk.
The board will now consider requests of Deborah Brewer, Director of Central Services.
Please take them together unless board member want to single one out. Hearing none.
Thank you. Good evening. We have 4 requests. The first is a recommendation to utilize statewide contract SWC 9999 SPD 60-03 to purchase the renewal of VMware production support subscription for the Information Technology Department from SHI International Corporation located in Somerset, New Jersey in the amount of $64,164.35. Funding is available through the 2016 Information Technology Other Contract Service Fees. The recommendation memo and the vendor quote are attached for your review and information. The next is a recommendation for award for RFP 1541 Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan for Clayton County, Georgia for the Fire EMA. The recommendation for award is to the most responsive and responsible proponent meeting the specifications with the highest score and lowest cost, which was Plans and More LLP, located in Pleasant View, Tennessee, in the amount of $24,962. Funding is available through the Georgia Emergency Management Agency GEMA grant. The evaluation, tabulation, summary, department recommendation, and agreement are attached for your review and information. The next is a recommendation for award for RFP 1551 Concrete Construction Services for Clayton County Annual Contract. The recommendation for award is the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, the overall lowest responsive and responsible bidder meeting the specifications, CNC Lovejoy, located in Lovejoy, Georgia. There are several sources of funding depending on the project that include federal, state, and SPLOST funds for 2004, 2009, and 2015. The bid tabulation summary, department recommendation, and agreement are attached for your review and information. The final is a request for first contract amendment for RFP 1513 parking lot maintenance for Clayton County, Georgia for transportation and development. The request is amend the contract with Wildcat Striping and Sealing located in Decatur, Georgia to include additional locations for seal coating services in the amount of $103,802. Funding is available through the Transportation and Development Department R&M building account. The department's recommendation, amendment, and contractor quotes are attached for your review and information. The request is for you to approve the recommendations, authorize the chairman or his designee to execute all necessary documents to accomplish the intent of the contract, and authorize the chief financial officer to amend the budget accordingly.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Properly moved second. Are there any questions on any of the items? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
The board will consider requests of Ramona Bivens, Chief Financial Officer.
Take them both, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I have 2 items for your consideration this evening. Budget Amendment 2-31 is for State Narcotic Condemnation Fund. It's to increase the budget in the amount of $6,000 to provide additional funds for office supplies for the District Attorney's Office. Budget Amendment 4-70 is for 2009 SPLOST to amend the budget in the amount of $312,622 for payment of road repair and maintenance work by Transportation and Development based on the service delivery agreement with the cities.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any questions? Hearing none, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Well, I do have a question, since we're on the budget amendments and all. When are we going to get information regarding the budget process?
We sent out the budget calendar back in January, I think, January.
Well,
I'll
I'm
send it to
worried
you
about
again.
that because I know we're getting less money from the airport this time, and probably some other funds that may not be coming in.
We're working on the budget now. We will be presenting something at the retreat on Saturday, and I don't know the date off the top of my head, but we're having our first budget hearing with the board will be in May. We start our budget hearing with the departments next week.
Okay.
So we're already in the middle of the budget process.
I would like for us to get something out to the public, definitely before election time, so that we can be transparent about, if we are going to have budget cuts, if we're going to have a tax increase or whatever. And I think, we need to know and the public needs to know.
Okay, well, the budget, we won't adopt the budget until June, which is historically how we've done it. We're it's going to be pushing it to try to get it, if you want to move it back earlier than that.
I would like to see us, try to work on it and get something out so the public will know before, May 20th or 24th or whatever.
Okay. Well, I'll talk with the chairman and we'll see if we can get a budget hearing before then. But right now it's scheduled for either the middle of May before then, and maybe the end of May. I don't have the calendar with me, but I'll look and let you know, and we'll discuss it.
Make all efforts to try to meet that date.
Right, yeah, because I think it's a need to know, and we always talking about transparency, and we really need to be transparent about the budget.
That's not a problem. We'll do our best.
I work at the pleasure of the board, so whatever you all want us to do,
Okay,
we'll try to make
I would
it
like
happen.
that, yeah.
Okay.
I would like that, okay. I'll write that down.
The board will consider a request of Renee Bright, Human Resources Director.
Gotta love you.
Have one item tonight. It's a request from the police department to reorganize the department, and it includes eliminating 3 police officer 3 positions at a pay grade 21 and create 3 tactical flight officer positions at pay grade 24, eliminate a principal secretary at pay grade 13, and create an administrative assistant at a pay grade 16, eliminate a police services clerk at a grade 12, and create a GCIC terminal agency coordinator at a grade 18, eliminate a police training instructor 3 position, which is vacant, and then create an additional police crime analyst position at a grade 18. And these changes would result in a savings of $31,000.
Is that an annual savings or a one-time savings? Yeah.
Well, it would be a one-time savings from the perspective that once
To eliminate and consolidating all the positions.
Okay,
It's 31
good.
savings,
Thank you.
31,000. All right, is there a motion? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moving and second. Any other questions? Hearing none. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Abstain.
Cause?
This would affect the family members. I'm abstaining from the vote.
Thank you.
Chairman, if I could, I'd just like to thank the board for the opportunity that I've had, or opportunities I've had over the past 27 years. It's truly been an honor and a privilege, and I'm just extremely appreciative.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
all that you've done for the county, and always know you have a home here in the family. Thank you.
Thank you.
And are you really retiring, or are you going to be doing something else?
Well, I'm going to retire for 2 weeks. And then I'm actually going to go to work for the Fayette County Board of Education.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Congratulations.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Christy Barnes, Chief Staff Attorney.
Please take them together unless somebody wants one singled out. All right.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. First is Resolution Number 2016-49, which is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the City of Lovejoy on behalf of the Clayton County UGA Extension for the implementation of a mobile farmers market. Resolution number 2016-50 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a grant award agreement with the Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council and accept grant funds to be used in connection with the Stop Violence Against Women Act grant program to support the District Attorney's Crimes Against Women unit. And this will reflect a federal grant in the amount of $70,000 with a local match of $23,333. Resolution number 2016-51 is a resolution to enter into a license agreement with Lake Spivey Community Incorporated to host the Lake Spivey Community Festival at the Upper Field area at Clayton County International Park. This event will be May 14th, 2016 from approximately 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. with the purpose of providing citizens a place to be entertained in a family-friendly atmosphere. And we've provided the clerk with a copy of the insurance requirements that have been recommended by Risk Management. Resolution number 2016-52 is a resolution to authorize Clayton County to accept a vehicle seized for forfeiture by the Clayton County Police Department Drug Task Force, and this is a 2007 Volkswagen Jetta. Resolution number 2016-53 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a sub-grant agreement with the Atlanta Regional Commission, providing for the terms and conditions under which the county will receive grant funds to update the county's comprehensive transportation plan. This will reflect a grant of $625,000, with federal funds accounting for 80% of the grant and local funds accounting for 20%. Resolution number 2016-54 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a license agreement with the American Bully Kennel Club to host the multi-breed dog show event at Clayton County International Park. This event will be June 4th, 2016 from approximately 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. And again, we've provided the clerk with insurance requirements as recommended by Risk Management. Resolution number 2016-55 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into an agreement with the United States Secret Service Financial Crimes Task Force to accept grant funds in the amount of $850 with no matching county funds required. And the funds will be used for equipment and training for members of the Organized Fraud Task Force. Resolution number 2016-56 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to grant a special facility use request and enter into a license agreement with Saving Our Society Incorporated to sponsor and host a 5K fundraiser and race at Clayton County International Park. This event will be August 30th, 2016 from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. The insurance requirements have been provided to the clerk, which have been recommended by Risk Management. Resolution number 2016-57 is a resolution to provide for a change in the name of the public road right-of-way of Lake Forest Trace to Al Cooper Trace, and the residents of Lake Forest subdivision have requested this renaming to honor Mr. Alfonso Al Cooper. Resolution number 2016-59 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a contract for services and lease agreement with the Southern Crescent Sexual Assault and Child Advocacy Center, Incorporated, a nonprofit corporation providing charitable services in Clayton County. Resolution number 2016-60 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to enter into a contract for services and lease agreement with the Hope Shelter Incorporated, a nonprofit corporation providing charitable services in Clayton County. Resolution number 2016-61 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to submit a concept paper to the Bureau of Justice Assistance to be used in connection with the Clayton County Treatment Court, and this is on behalf of Clayton County Probate Court. Resolution number 2016-62 is a resolution authorizing Clayton County to apply and, if selected, accept a grant award from the Bureau of Justice Assistance to be used in connection with the Clayton County Treatment Court. Again, this is from Probate Court. Resolution number 2016-63 is a resolution to establish the rate of compensation for hearing officers considering tax appeals as set forth in OCGA Section 48-5-311E.110, and to also authorize the Chief Financial Officer to amend the budget where necessary to reflect an appropriate revenue source and expense, all as may be required.
All right, do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the resolutions.
Is there a second? I'll second it, properly moved and second. Any questions on any of the items? Hearing none, those in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, and we will request an executive session for personnel, litigation, and real estate. Brief.
Okay. If Mr. Patrick Ejiki could come forward to present the request of the Community Development Department for board consideration and approval to grant SunGuard public sector access to county data to configure tray kit system.
This is basically, correct me if I'm wrong, this is a discussion item seeking for approval to move forward with it, correct?
Yes.
Proceed on.
And thank you, Commissioners and Chairman, to allow me to present it. We currently use SunGuard, SunGuard Public Sector, for our permitting and licensing software in our department.
I'm sorry, could you speak up or slower or something? I can't understand you.
We currently use SunGuard Public Sector software for business license and building permits. The company recently approached us to let us know that the current system will now be upgraded based on the questions we're asking them, that they've acquired a new system. They also invited us to help them configure, build the new system for the conversion from one solution into TrackIt. The new system is called TrackIt. So this invitation does two things for us. It allows us to continue what we presented to you all at how we are moving in terms of technology. It also has a benefit that when we decide, when the county decide, we're not obligated at any time to go, but when we decide to go to TrackIt, which is a web-based application, there will be a substantial discount in what the county will be getting. This gives us a technical edge, allows us to see the insights of TrackIt and be able to get ready, because since they've told us there are no more improvements to what we currently use, and as you all saw, what we have built in our department, we are going to web-based applications. We are pushing a lot of what we are doing on the web. So their new system will allow us to do this effectively. That is why I think that what they're offering us, it's a good idea. They are our vendors right now. They do have access to our system, but I thought it wise to bring this to the board to let you all know and get approval that we want to do this. It will be beneficial to the county, and it will be cost savings.
Any questions for Mr. Ejike?
I do. Okay, so SunGuard is the vendor for one of the applications for your department.
Yes.
And another company is going to acquire them and stop improving the old system and come out with a new system that can convert the old systems to, and the new system is going to be called TrackIt.
No, SunGuard acquired the system, the company.
Okay.
Yeah. They actually bought out their competition.
Okay. And they're asking us essentially to be a beta testing for their conversion and new application.
No. Part of the reasons why they asked us to join, we're not the only site, but why we're one of the sites, we implemented all aspects of what they do in community development, even the mobile field inspections. We actually implemented their system in such a way they liked how the implementation went. They chose Clayton County as a site that implemented their one solution, one of the best ones. And what I demoed, or rather showed the commissioners in my past presentation to you all, is an evidence of that. How well we implemented the one solution system.
This comes at no cost to the county, correct?
No cost to the county. Will be a savings when we decide to acquire TrackIt.
So that's my other question. What type of manpower will be committed or would need to be committed from your department, and exactly what are the savings?
The manpower hours are things that we will work within what we are doing. They will do the first phase of the configuration, then we'll look into it. One of the advantages is that we want to assist in building out the deficiencies we currently have in one solution. That's so we do not see the hours that are needed will be incorporated. Very few people in my department will be involved in the configuration part of it.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. The manpower hours needed for this will be incorporated into what?
Work hours.
Okay, so we'll be helping them with their application updates and conversions during our working hours by our people.
Yes.
It won't require any overtime.
No, none.
We will be applying some sort of hourly service to them at no cost to them.
And also,
and they're going to give us a discount when they sell us the product that we help them to do.
Well,
I guess the reason I'm asking is I want to know exactly how much that deep discount is, and if we are helping them and applying taxpayer-paid man-hours to their process, then I want their application for free, or at least I want to see exactly what that deep discount is before we apply man-hours. I think that's a perfectly reasonable expectation of our stewardship of taxpayer dollars when you ask us where we want to go with this. That's the point I was trying to get to.
Commissioner, I agree. The discount is that the professional services to implement a system, it's in the 300,000 range when they come and configure your system for you. That part of professional implementation will be at no cost to us. The only cost to Clayton County will be training cost. The hours that we put into the configuration is minuscule because what we're doing, it's actually in the data conversion, the mapping side. Remember that this system already exists. They're not designing a brand new system.
So just to make sure I understand, I'm sorry, Mr. Ejike, I just don't want to get lost. So the typical implementation of a new program or application by SunGuard is typically around $300,000.
Yes.
And they're going to waive that cost in lieu of us applying a minuscule amount of manpower that you can incorporate during regular hours without overtime.
Exactly.
Is that in writing?
Yes, it's in writing.
Okay, well, I'd love to get a copy of that.
Yeah, it is in writing. Yeah.
But if we're saving how many minuscule man hours without overtime are you anticipating?
I would say at most roughly 8 hours a week.
By one person?
Yeah.
8
But-
hours
well,
a week,
nah,
so
nah,
about a quarter of a week's.
Not by one person. I think for me not to guess at the man hours, I haven't seen all the structure of what we're going to do. But the advantage in this is that the deal we are getting, it's no doubt a good deal. The hours will not be a problem for us because of what we have done so far.
Well, I'm just trying to get a sense. I know how overly tasked your department's people are. So
Thank
8
you.
hours divided into 40 is 20%. So you're talking about 20% of the working week per person. And I'd like to know how many people and for how long that we're going to get in lieu of this $300,000 implementation price.
What?
And also, what other kind of setbacks are we going to have with the already tasked department that you have? And so if they're already tasked, you can incorporate a 20% increase without going into overtime. I want to know why they're already overly tasked to begin with.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's good to highlight how taxed my department is, given what we have produced.
Yeah, especially with 20% extra.
I'm glad
and
that it's
overtime.
been recognized. But more importantly, the county has exempt status for some employees. The exempt status, not to get into the details of it, really gives leeway to staff to do certain things.
Are you talking about civil service?
Yes, civil
exempt?
service exempt status.
Are you talking
So-
about the county's contractors in your department?
No.
Which is specifically in your department is a civil service exempt person? I'm not aware of a single.
Commissioner Edmondson, you've asked him a bunch of questions. Allow him a minute to respond to some of your questions. Go ahead, sir.
The 5 individuals that will be involved in this are the 5 individuals that built what you saw and what our customers and the citizens of Clayton County are currently taking advantage of. Those 5 individuals are all exempt employees. And the exempt employees come with certain caveats. And technically, really, we don't work in hours, really. We don't work in hours. And every one of them, of those 5, not the whole department, the whole department is not involved, 5 people only. They're all exempt hours. So we're not counting it in terms of the number of hours we work, because our exempt employees now, as I speak, I was sitting back there getting reports and data. We work when beyond 5 o'clock. The things we accomplished cannot be done within 8 hours of work and dealing with customers. It's impossible. We work on weekends. So, and we are not breaking any of the labor laws. So we are within the parameters of the county under some regulation. So those 5 employees are not impacted by the calculation that you're using. If they were non-exempt, then your calculation will be valid and will actually figure into it. But the 5 people that are doing it, that's not the calculation that I'm using. The benchmark that I'm using is that we're not going to stop what we are doing or the rate we are developing our current system. And that is the benchmark I'm setting for them. We're going to keep doing what we're doing and at the same time be able to do this. And everybody on the team understands this and agrees, because it's fun for individuals who are technically inclined to do this. I'm actually proud of them and glad they're my department, because all you have to do, throw the ball, they play. Yep. Look at our website. Yep. It says a whole lot.
I appreciate you taking on my question. Just to make sure I understand. So you've got 5 employees in your department that are employees and not contractors, that are civil service exempt, that will be not paid overtime, but will be working nights and weekends, approximately 8 hours per week, to implement this at no cost to the taxpayers, in exchange for no implementation costs by the vendor, which should save us about $300,000.
It's about that amount, yes.
All right, well, it sounds like a good deal to us.
It
Thank
is,
you for
Commissioner.
providing that information.
Do you have anything in writing, Mr. Ojike?
They send us what I've asked them to do for us, so that when they have a change in their company, it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, is to send me something of what the training cost might be. We've just done a training cost in one solution, so we have an idea. Give me what the training cost might be it an estimate, not to exceed. Then, and that's what I've asked them to send me, and they have agreed to do that, and they want to be able to go because we plan to complete this configuration by early next year, because it takes a long time to do.
Can we wait until next board meeting so we can get that in writing?
Yes, you can. Yes, we can.
I prefer to read it
Okay.
because I'm not quite understanding.
Okay.
CGK, I would like to commend your IT people. I have seen them in action and all, and they are great. So please continue to do it. Please keep them. Don't let them retire or leave, please.
We're trying to.
Okay, thank you.
And if you want to sit down with me, we can do that.
Okay. I would like to.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks
Thank
like
you.
the board's consensus is to hold until the next meeting to provide you or allow you to move forward or not, so.
Provide us the written documentation he said he had.
Well, he's gonna have that before time, but yes, and then we can discuss it again at that time and then make an overall determination whether we want him to proceed on with SunGuard or not.
We'll make sure we get the information before the meeting,
Right.
not at the meeting.
He's gonna have it for us when?
I will call them tomorrow to see us when they're going to get it for us.
Try to get it to us before the end of the week if possible.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The next three items are board appointments. The first appointment is to the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Region 3 Advisory Council to fill the expiring term of Diana Williams. The term is for 3 years, expiring on April 2nd, 2019. This is a full board appointment. Are there any nominations?
Yes, Ms. Diana Williams has stressed that, or voiced that she would like to stay on there, so I nominate her. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Probably moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
The next is an appointment to the Land Bank Board to fill the expiring term of Latrivia Cates. The term is 4 years, expiring on April 15, 2020. This is a full board appointment. Are there any nominations?
I have not spoken to Attorney Cates. I think this is a position for the attorney. Can we hold it until next board meeting?
Okay, and the last appointment is to the Tourism Authority to fill the expiring term of Tom Maples. The term is 4 years, expiring on April 30th, 2020. This is a full board appointment. Are there any nominations? Hearing none. The next two items are zoning
Let me ask
petition.
before you move forward, has anybody talked to Linda or Mr. Maples or anything about his desire to stay on that board?
Nope.
Proceed on.
Okay. The first zoning petition, the applicant is Phyllis Renee Swint, and the request is for a conditional use permit. It's for property located at 6121 Caden Forest Cove, Riverdale, Georgia. This is Commission District 2, Commissioner Hambrick. The Zoning Advisory Group has recommended approval. Is the applicant present? Yes. Okay. Do we have anyone here in opposition of this zoning request?
Ma'am,
Would the
if you will
applicant please come forward at this time?
tell me you're bringing gifts, are you?
I'm telling you.
Good afternoon, Chief and Commissioners. My name is, Chairman, I'm sorry. My name is Phyllis Swint. I do reside at 6121 Camden Forest Cove. That's where I live, and I have started a cottage food business in which I do bake at home, and I'm seeking a permit in order to do that.
All right. Is there, once again, is there anyone here in opposition? Commissioner Hambrick?
Have you had conversation or meetings with the people in the area?
I did send out the letters. I was required to send out 25 certified letters to my neighbors with the letter that was already filled out, and I did mail that out to each of
the addresses on my list. So they did receive that. And this will in no way downgrade the integrity of the neighborhood, because I basically deliver the cake orders that I get. It's usually family members, friends that I know, people that come to my job, that kind of thing. So there's not like a lot of people coming to my house to pick up the cakes or anything like that.
Okay, I have spoken with people in the area, in the community,
Okay.
that do not want this. They have not heard about any hearing or any meetings or anything. So we can do either one of two things. We can go back and meet with the community or whatever, or I will suggest denial.
Okay, it is posted in my yard. I do have the, I don't know how big it is, but it states that the first hearing was March 7th, and then this one on the 15th. And like I said, I did send out the certified letters. There were 25 that I was required to send out to the neighbors, and from that I didn't hear anything. You know, no neighbors came to my door or anything like that. So
Well, the community is saying they don't want business in the community, so I think we
Okay.
need to speak outside of your street
Okay.
and find out the feeling.
Okay, okay.
So who's in charge of this?
And I just wanted to say one thing. The reason that I am doing this is to supplement my income. I am a kidney transplant recipient, and in May, Medicare stops. So with my Blue Cross and Blue Shield and myself, I will have to be responsible for my own medication. So, I mean, I'm not like trying to, you know, get rich or destroy the neighborhood or anything like that. I love cooking. I'm a foodie. I did bring samples, but, you know, that wasn't to have anything to do with this, but just so you could see my packaging, how in the event of rain, I do have it covered up, and I'm creative, so I do make sure that my boxes are presentable, my kitchen is very clean, and I just had a few. This is a sample of the red velvet with chocolate swirl with just a dab of cream cheese. But I totally respect my neighbors. And if I have to not do this at my home, I receive that. But I would like the opportunity to explain to them that the neighborhood is not going to go down because I'm making deliveries for my product. So you just let me know the people I need to meet with, or if you have some.
Let me say this too, because we have business, and all due respect to you, but there are a lot of businesses that are operating without a license, have not, I mean, almost directly across from me. And we have not done anything about that. And I need to know that the community is okay with this.
I understand that,
I hear
yes.
complaints. I complain about some of those things. So.
Okay, okay.
What's the process by which
You wanna
Ms.
hold?
She's
Ms.
willing
Went,
to hold it.
You're willing
so-
to hold it, Ms. Went?
Until the next zoning hearing, correct?
Sure, sure. And if I need to do additional letters, I'm prepared. Or if I need to knock on doors, I'm
I don't know
prepared.
what the requirements are.
Well, I think she's already met requirements. I think what Ms. Commissioner Hambrick wants to do is to hold another
Surely.
community meeting just so y'all can talk
Surely.
once again about it. So if you're willing to do that,
I'm
Mr.
willing.
Jicky, do we just hold it?
Yes.
Probably Ms. Barnes' question, do we need to hold this for decision only without advertising or re-advertising? Or how do y'all want to do that?
I would think it's decision only. I think you all have conducted the
Hearing.
the hearing.
Ms. Barnes, pull the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I would recommend that this is for decision only. I think the board has conducted the hearing, and at this point, if the commissioner and the board want to defer a decision.
That's quite all right.
Okay.
That's quite all right.
So make
Okay.
sure that you work with the commissioner to get your neighbors together.
Well,
So-
actually, you need to
I
work
will.
with the department.
Which department?
Word
though?
out.
Oh, okay. Zoning?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, you're
All
welcome.
right.
You're welcome. All right. I'll leave that for you to taste if you like.
You might be part of me.
Oh, I probably will, but I'm not gonna be playing. I'll go. I'm not.
Yeah, you can go ahead and get that to the police officer and not Mr. Stanford.
The police officer?
Yeah. That's what I figured.
And the final zoning
I'll never
petition.
see it again.
And the
Madam
final
Clerk.
zoning petition for this evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the applicant is Adam Richards on behalf of Tradeport Office Partners LLC. The request is for a rezoning. The subject property is located at 3980 Tradeport Boulevard, Atlanta, Georgia. This is District 2, Commissioner Hambrick's district. The zoning advisory group has recommended approval. I see the applicant coming forward. Is anyone here in opposition? Anyone here in opposition of this zoning petition? If the applicant would come
would you like to
forward
make a
and state
statement?
your name.
Good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. It's nice to see you all again. I was in here recently on another project, so happy to be here again. I have a few things I'd like to just...
For the record, sir, please state your name.
Yes, I'm sorry. Adam Richards, and I'm with Reliant Real Estate Partners. If I could just share these items with the board, I thought it might be helpful. Okay, so what I've given you is an aerial of the area, and it shows the subject property in question located at 3980 Tradeport Boulevard. It's in the Mountain View area. And I've also provided a list of the surrounding tenants, which really corresponds to most of the logos that you see. A lot of you, and probably everybody in this room, have been to this building at some point. This was the former Department of Revenue and Driver Services building. So, you know, there used to be several hundred people employed at this location, and I believe they closed that facility in 2012 and split it up into different geographic locations to meet the demand of the expanding metro area. So we acquired this property in 2013, renovated the building, really demoed the entire interior of the property. I'm not too familiar with the history of the zoning. Patrick may be able to help on this, but it was originally zoned light industrial, and it was part of a blanket rezoning of this entire area to regional mixed use. We found that the regional mixed use has really not been suitable for our marketing purposes, and we have had a hard time finding tenants that really meet that regional mixed use designation. So what we are asking for is to go back to this light industrial use. We do have two very strong prospects for the building, both airport-related tenants. One is a half building tenant, the other is a full building tenant, both long-term lease prospects. So I also lease the other 5 buildings adjacent to this one in the park. They're owned by a large asset management fund out of Boston called TA Realty Associates. And in those buildings, they're all industrial, light industrial tenants. You see Faith Technologies, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, FAA is there, Volvo Mack Truck. So these are all buildings with dock doors, loading areas, truck courts, warehouse, and light office finish for the most part. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Happy to answer any questions, but we're excited about the possibility of filling this building back up, and both of those deals come with several hundred jobs over the next few years.
So those
thank
are
you.
new jobs coming.
Yes.
Okay. Once again, is there anybody in opposition to this request? Any questions for Mr. Adams from the board? Commissioner.
I have spoken with both Patrick and Courtney regarding this, and they have been telling me the good and the positive things for the county with this, and jobs that
Yes,
will
ma'am.
come to citizens here in Clayton County. And also, based on that, I recommend approval.
Is there a second?
A second, Mr. Chair.
Probably moved in second. Hearing no other questions, those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Thank you
sir.
all. Have a good night.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, if there is no further business, this concludes the agenda for this evening. There was a request to go into executive session on personnel litigation and real estate.
It's a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session.
Is there a second? I second it. Properly moved in second. Those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.